What's the worst business idea you've seen someone try to execute? Does anyone have that Reddit relationship advice thread? The one where the girlfriend is questioning her boyfriend's intelligence after his great business idea. Soup delivered to people's houses via pipes. I give you soup tubes. Edit. Wow, thank you. Glad to be of service. I wonder if we could get an update on soup tubes. There was a guy in my town that opened a business that was the equivalent of a brick and mortar version of Craigslist or newspaper classified ads. It was a unit in a strip mall with bulletin boards. You paid to put an ad up and other people came to look at the ads with a small picture. This was after Craigslist existed. Not some pre-internet thing. There was no actual merchandise in the store. Just crappy pictures of stuff with the contact info. It wasn't even a high foot traffic location. You had to maneuver through a busy intersection, park and go inside to look at a bulletin board. It went under and he tried to blame the landlord because he couldn't get a sign permit for the end of the building even though he had 2 other signs. One of the younger dudes in my karate class was going to start a handyman business. 24 hours. Anything needing to be done. Anywhere in our district. Sounds good. You gonna get a loan and buy a used truck and get some tools? And you never have talk time on your phone. So will you get a landline? 2006. So not super outlandish. No. I'll go on my bicycle. And I'll just use the tools they have. And they can email me when they need service. Right, because when I have water spraying out of my geyser through the ceiling at 3 a.m. I'm going to email a dude on a bicycle to come fix it using all the tools in the ladder I don't own. Dude bought 150k fidget spinners at the height of the craze. It took months to ship out from China and by the time all his shit arrived, the mania had ended and the retail price was already near his original wholesale price. Fucking guy still has fidget spinners today. I guess he may eventually do okay on it. But goddamn, I get trying to capitalize on a popular trend. But 150k is ridiculous. Even when it was at its peak, everybody pretty much knew it wouldn't last.
It literally appealed to people with short attention spans. One time many years ago, my friend and I were in line behind a woman who had a shirt emblazoned with the word taint. He inquired about it and it turned out it was her clothing company. She explained that she loved the word taint, like, taint this, taint that. He explained the popular meaning of the word to her and her face dropped. I was mortified, but he probably did the right thing.
I mean, how did she manage to get to the point where her company had logo emblazoned shirts and not one person had ever mentioned that the popular meaning of her company's name was essentially the ball to butthole superhighway?
I have a friend whose family has gotten involved in multiple pyramid schemes. And every single time they get into a new pyramid scheme, they claim it's not a pyramid scheme. No, you don't get it. I am the boss. Once I produce 5 clients for my mentor, then I keep all my new clients and they have to get me 5 new clients each. It's people helping people. Well, of course it is. It's people helping people to build a shitty pyramid of lies and deceit. There was a bar that opened in the capital of my country that wouldn't charge you for the drinks, but for the time spent there. Obviously everyone's goal was to drink as much as possible in the least possible amount of time, so they had to shut down soon. Edit. Whoa, this blew up much more than expected. It was interesting to read about similar practices all over the world. It seems that it might not be such a bad idea after all, but it requires certain adjustments to work. In this case there were no restrictions whatsoever, no minimal time, etc. You just pay a certain amount per each minute you're inside, so a lot of people just abused such setup and the bar went bankrupt.
Father-in-law drove 18 hours down to Florida to catch shrimp. Filled his tiny car with tons of the shrimp and drove back. It took days to vacuum seal the shrimp that hadn't gone bad, only to sell a few bags to some friends. The car smelled like seafood for years. I can see Kramer doing this. Actually, I can see him doing everything in this thread. Edit. Wow, thanks guys, never got an award before.
When I was in high school, one of my friends wanted to start a little coffee shop / hot chocolate stand with a cuddle corner and free hugs for anyone who wants them. She offered jobs to our other friends. The idea was that this little business would be operated and staffed by high schoolers. She failed to see the issue with having 16-year-old girls required give free hugs to customers or having to staff the cuddle corner. It could be very successful, but to all the wrong people. I love escorting people. I put an ad out for an escort service and got a lot of responses. Mostly creeps. Made a few friends. Dwight Schrute. Can't believe no one mentioned that guy who went on Shark Tank to pitch a Bluetooth earpiece that you got surgically implanted in your ear canal that you charged by sticking a needle in your ear while you slept. The Ionic Ear. I was almost sold by his enthusiasm.
Monthly sex toy subscription. You would get a different sex toy each month. Which is an okay idea, I guess. There's one of those for everything nowadays. But the only problem this guy had is that he wanted the customers to eventually return the toy so he could pass it on to the next customer. He actually got in talks with an owner of a local sex shop to help him start. But the enthusiasm flattened out quite quickly. Remove the return part of it and you have kinky loot box. With the right marketing, I think you could make decent cash. Assuming you had adult industry connections to sex toy manufacturers and could get your ads on Pornhub. Probably big dollar signs. Returning used dildos though? Not a profitable idea.
In about 2005, my friend's dad tried to start an arcade, in a small town, just outside walking distance from a school, using beat-up second-hand machines. To get there from the school you'd have to walk by an established, larger arcade that also sold food. Edit for the unusually crowd. I guess it was walking distance, just not a convenient walking distance. Sorry for poor wording. It all sounded fine and dandy until you mentioned the larger arcade with food face with tears of joy. Guy I know got a small inheritance. Enough for a deposit on a unit or small house. Nope. Seahorse farm. Turns out seahorses are difficult to breed. What would you even use seahorses for? Pets? Those weird dried up seahorses in tacky gift shops?
Context. I live in Las Vegas. When I was in my 20s, I was hired by a man who wanted to build *MySpace for strippers*. His goal was for the men on the site to pay him to follow their favorite strippers and know what clubs they were dancing at, and when he shut the project down after months of paying me, when he found out that no stripper would sign up for it. Sign up to get stalked. Quote. That crazy expensive juicer from several years ago that used proprietary juice packets. You could just poke a hole in the packet and hand squeeze the juice for free to save a few $100. Edit. Maybe I'm stupid, but I thought the point of a juicer was to take whole ingredients and make juice out of them.
It is. Hence why this was a spectacular failure. A crazy over-engineered device to squeeze regular juice from packets. I'm dumbfounded by whoever thought it was a good idea.